Foreign aid. What is that? I'm gonna address it once we uh finish watching the video. I'm gonna keep it up there, right? I'm gonna keep it above me, so I can explain what foreign aid actually is. Where does foreign aid actually go to, right? Foreign aid is an all-encompassing category. Things from feeding the starving people in Africa to giving Ukraine weapons to fight against the Russian invaders, right? For example, in the recent 5 years, we have given approximately $70 billion of foreign aid. Now, where does that go? Let's take a look. So right now, our biggest receiver of foreign aid is Ukraine. Obviously, they're fighting a war. Ukraine is being invaded by Russian terrorists, as some might call that. 2023, we gave them $16 billion. Now, Donald Trump says $100 billion, $200 billion, $300 billion. Not true. Ukraine got nowhere near that. $16 billion is going to Ukraine, which is in need of funding when they're fighting against the largest country in the world. I'm not gonna get into that. That's our first one. In my opinion, justified. Second one is where the controversy starts. Israel. They got $3.3 billion recently, right? The $3.3 billion went to Israel. And why? It's this thing called the AIPAC, right? AIPAC is an Israel lobby group, right? Yep, AIPAC. That's right. Oh, like IPAC? How do you pronounce
IPAC or
I?
APAC.
They have huge control and influence over the United States government through their funding of campaigns. Say you're running for office, Idaho, and you're running for some southern district. From Boise, Idaho, you're running, right? You want to be in Congress. You go to an IPAC fundraiser where you tell them, "Hey guys, I'm trying to run for office. I need some money. It's I'm gonna be pro Israel when I get in office, so maybe you guys want to one for me? Maybe." IPAC has huge control. It is a foreign government lobby. They are a foreign government lobbying for United States politics, right? It is objectively not a really good thing for the United States government to be influenced by foreign powers. So that's second. They get 6.6 billion. Third on the list I have is Ethiopia, right? Right here. Other countries like Afghanistan, Somalia, Gaza got some aid, actually around $1 billion in 2024. Nigeria, Yemen, and that leads us to why do they get foreign aid? What is the point of giving these countries foreign aid? The idea is this concept of soft power. When you have Nigeria, it's a country of growing population. They have 280 million people. 240 million, correction. And when you are giving them money, right, you have soft power over them. You can tell them, hey, so here's the thing. You've been buying a lot of Russian oil recently. We don't want that. Russia has been doing terrible things. We're sanctioning them. You have a choice. Either you stop buying Russian oil or you stop getting aid from us. And that gives the US power. Also, it makes the general population have a favorable view of the west of the United States in particular. China's doing the same thing, but also with infrastructure investment. Yes, yes, China is doing the exact same thing, except for China has been winning the war. Like, look at this. Where China sends aid, they have been also sending that, and all these countries in red also trade more with China than they do with the US. That's a very good thing to point out. That China has also been doing that, and China has been benefiting tremendously. Let's take a look back in history. World War One ended. What happens when the World War One ended? Germany is in shambles, so they gave Germany a lot of loans. Okay, Germany, here is $10 billion. You have to give the money back, but you can have it for now so you can rebuild and you can become stronger, which is all fine and good until the 1930s when the stock market collapsed. We got into the Great Depression. We got FDR. We got out of the Great Depression. 1945. Germany is in a war with us again. It is the World War II. We won the war. We defeat the Germans, right? The Germans have been defeated. After 1945, we have a new big enemy. It is the Soviets. It is the communists. It is the anti-Americans. And so in 1945, you have the Cold War. And the United States has two policies which shape foreign aid: the Marshall Plan and the Truman Doctrine. The Truman Doctrine, we have the enemies, the Cold War enemies of the USSR. We don't like that they're communist. We think that democracy and capitalism is the way to go. Communism is bad. We fight communism. It is the Cold War Again, authoritarian communist Stalin, dictator of his country, versus the democratic capitalist represented by the United States of America, right? The Truman Doctrine is the one where we send out money to everybody fighting communism. So there was a doctor or some scientist who went into Soviet Russia. He talked to people there, and he came back. He's like, "Yeah, so communists, they're full and through communist. Once they take over, we can't make them not communist again." So what they got is this policy of containment, right? To all the resistance forces which are fighting from communist takeovers, like in Afghanistan, in India, and China, they would fund them, which led to couple bad outputs because in Afghanistan, right, there it was a war in Afghanistan. It was the Soviets trying to take over, but there was this group of mighty freedom fighters fighting to not become communist. And the United States like, oh hell yeah, let's send them some money, right? They send them the money, the Taliban takes over. It was the Taliban, right? The United States gave money to the Taliban, but we have a history of doing that kind of things. And I don't know if you know, look at history, but the Soviet Union doesn't exist anymore. We kind of won the Cold War, so that's good. It worked out. It also led to the 1970s, the great growth. America became the great empire that it is. So foreign aid has worked out in the past.